What is the inner child? Have you ever reacted to something in the present and later thought, why did I respond like that? That was out of proportion. Maybe someone criticized you at work, and you felt not just annoyed but devastated, like you were a little kid again. Maybe a partner didn't text back, and suddenly you felt waves of rejection and panic, even though logically you knew it wasn't a big deal. Or maybe you find yourself repeating the same patterns in relationships, even though you swore you'd never end up like this again. These moments often point back to something deeper, the wounded inner child. What is the inner child? The inner child isn't a literal child inside of you. It's a metaphor for the part of you that still carries the experiences, emotions, and unmet needs of your childhood. When you were young, you absorbed everything: love, criticism, neglect, praise. You learned what made you feel safe, what made you feel scared, and what you had to do to earn love or avoid punishment. Those lessons didn't just disappear when you grew up. They live inside you, shaping your adult reactions. Why the inner child matters. Many of the struggles we face as adults, self-doubt, fear of rejection, perfectionism, people-pleasing, fear of abandonment, have roots in childhood. If a child felt unheard, the adult might struggle to use their voice. If a child felt abandoned, the adult might cling tightly to relationships or avoid intimacy altogether. If a child felt criticized, the adult might carry an inner critic that never stops talking. In other words, your past is not past. It echoes in your present. Why healing is essential. Here's the thing: your inner child isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you. Those patterns were survival strategies. As a child, you may have needed to be quiet to stay safe. You may have needed to hide your emotions to avoid rejection. You may have needed to be perfect to feel loved. But now, as an adult, those strategies don't serve you anymore. They limit you. Healing the inner child is about updating your internal system, thanking those old strategies for keeping you safe, but gently teaching your inner child that you are safe now. In this video, we'll explore what the inner child really is and how childhood shapes adulthood. The common wounds that many of us carry from childhood. Stories of people who healed their inner child and transformed their lives. Practical tools for reconnecting with, nurturing, and healing your inner child. Because here's the truth: your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to define you. Healing is possible. And when you heal your inner child, you don't just change your past, you free your future. Common childhood wounds and how they show up in adults. To heal the inner child, we first have to recognize its wounds. Here are some of the most common patterns. 1. The wound of abandonment. Childhood, maybe a parent left physically, or maybe they were emotionally unavailable, always working, distracted, or inconsistent. Adult impact: fear of being left, clinginess in relationships, difficulty trusting, or avoiding intimacy to prevent being hurt. 2. The wound of rejection. Childhood, criticism, bullying, or being told your feelings didn't matter. Adult impact: deep fear of not being good enough, sensitivity to criticism, people-pleasing, or hiding your true self. 3. The wound of neglect. Childhood, emotional needs ignored. Maybe you were fed and clothed, but not comforted, listened to, or encouraged. Adult impact: difficulty knowing your own needs, ignoring self-care, feeling unworthy of love or attention. 4. The wound of abuse, emotional, physical, or verbal. Childhood, experiencing harsh words, physical punishment, or emotional manipulation. Adult impact: inner critic, low self-esteem, fear of conflict, or repeating abusive relationships. 5. The wound of perfectionism, conditional love. Childhood, love felt earned only through achievement or being good. Adult impact: overachieving, never feeling enough, tying self-worth to performance. Stories of these wounds. Emma the perfectionist. As a child, Emma was praised only when she got top grades. Now as an adult, she ties her worth to accomplishments. Even small mistakes make her spiral into shame. Carlos the avoider. Carlos grew up with a father who left and a mother too busy to notice him. As an adult, he avoids closeness in relationships, fearing that everyone will eventually leave. Leah the people pleaser. Leah learned as a child that expressing anger or sadness led to punishment. Now, she hides her feelings, always putting others first, but secretly feels unseen. Why recognizing wounds matters. We can't heal what we don't acknowledge. Many adults dismiss their childhood, saying, "It wasn't that bad." But the truth is, the child inside you remembers, and your patterns today are proof. Healing starts by saying, "Yes, that hurt me. Yes, it shaped me. And yes, I deserve to heal." Reconnecting with the inner child. Healing the inner child is not about blaming parents forever. It's about acknowledging pain and choosing to nurture yourself now. Story 1, The Letter to a Younger Self. Sophia struggled with self-doubt. In therapy, she was asked to write a letter to her younger self, the little girl who always felt not enough. She wrote, "You didn't need to be perfect to be loved. You were always worthy." That simple act softened years of self-criticism. Story 2, The Adult Who Learned to Play Again. Daniel grew up in a strict household where fun was considered a waste of time. As an adult, he was serious, rigid, and burnt out. His therapist encouraged him to revisit childhood joys, painting, biking, silly games. At first it felt ridiculous. But slowly, laughter returned. By playing, Daniel reconnected with the child who had been silenced. Story 3, Breaking the Cycle. Maya grew up with a mother who shamed her for crying. As a parent herself, she noticed she was shutting down her daughter's tears. One day she paused and said, "It's okay to cry. Your feelings matter." At that moment, Maya wasn't just healing her daughter, she was healing her inner child. Lessons from these stories. Compassion over criticism. You can't heal through judgment. You heal through kindness. Reparenting yourself. Healing the inner child means becoming the safe parent you needed. That means listening to yourself, comforting yourself, and setting healthy boundaries. Permission to feel. Many inner child wounds come from being told, "Don't feel that." Healing requires reclaiming your emotions as valid and important. Signs you are reconnecting with your inner child. You notice and soothe your triggers instead of shaming yourself. You allow yourself joy without guilt. You treat mistakes with gentleness, not harshness. You begin breaking family patterns instead of repeating them. Healing is not instant. It's a gradual process of turning toward yourself with love, again and again. Practical tools to heal the inner child. Inner child journaling. Write to your younger self. Ask, "What did you need back then? What do you want me to know?" Then write a compassionate response as your adult self. Visualization. Close your eyes and picture yourself as a child. Imagine holding their hand, giving them safety, telling them, "I've got you now." Reparenting practices. Give yourself what you lacked: rest, encouragement, affection, boundaries. Show up daily as the loving caregiver your child self needed. Express through creativity. Draw, dance, sing, play. Creativity is the language of the inner child. It allows healing without words. Therapy and support. Healing doesn't have to be done alone. A therapist or support group can guide you in safely unpacking childhood wounds. Story, The Courage to Speak. Alex always feared confrontation because, as a child, raising his voice meant punishment. In therapy, he practiced expressing needs calmly. The first time he told his boss, "I need help with this project," his heart raced, but he survived. Over time, Alex realized that speaking up didn't make him unsafe anymore. His inner child was learning to trust. Healing the inner child is not about erasing the past. You cannot go back and change what happened. But you can change how those memories live inside of you. You can choose to stop carrying them as chains and begin carrying them as lessons. Your childhood may have shaped you, but it does not have to define you. Every time you comfort yourself instead of criticizing yourself, you are healing. Every time you allow yourself to feel instead of suppressing your emotions, you are healing. Every time you show up for yourself with kindness, you are becoming the parent, the protector, and the friend that your younger self always needed. This is the power of reparenting, learning to give yourself the safety, love, and compassion that may have been missing before. You do not have to wait for someone else to heal you. You can be the healer you've been waiting for. So this week, take one step toward your inner child. Write a letter to them, letting them know they were always enough. Play a game you once loved. Sing, draw, laugh without worrying about being too childish. Speak to yourself in the same gentle voice you would use with a child who was hurting. Because when you heal your inner child, you free your adult self. You stop living as a prisoner of old wounds and start living as the person you were always meant to be. You reclaim joy, creativity, and authenticity. You break cycles that may have lasted generations, and in doing so, you change not only your life, but the lives of those who come after you. Your healing is not just for you. It ripples outward, to your relationships, your family, your children, your community. A healed inner child grows into an adult who can love more deeply, connect more honestly, and live more fully. So let this be the beginning of a new chapter. One where the past no longer holds you captive, but instead gives you wisdom. One where the child inside of you feels safe, seen, and loved. One where you finally feel whole. If this message resonated with you, comment one word, healing. And in the next video, we'll explore the courage to be authentic, living without masks.